Welcome back. Thank you for joining us for the final game of the day, Clutch Gaming versus FlyQuest. And right now it's time to roll into the roster rundown. Selecting on the blue side, it's Clutch Gaming. That means in the top lane, it is Solo. LirA roaming in the jungle. Febiven in the mid lane. Bot is Apollo with support. Hakuho, head coach McScrags, and strategy coach Baby Zeus.
And facing them on the red side, it's FlyQuest. In the top lane, Flame. Jungle is Santorin. Keane mid, WILDTURTLE bot, support JayJ, and a head coach St. Vicious, who is a strong independent coach and does not need a strategic coach.
This is true. After racking up a few losses, Clutch bounced back, and they got a much-needed win last week to really bolster that mentality as well.
And since they've joined the league, Clutch has always thrived in the late game. And before last week, the games were ending before their scaling could really start, and it was slow going, but the team had a plan, and they followed through with it. And while the team is currently tied for last place, they still have championship points, so any improvements go straight to the gauntlet if they can make it. And that's the thing is, if they don't make playoffs, they still have a chance of making Worlds. So every game really counts for their improvement and showing off on stage that they can make it to that point.
And their opponents today in FlyQuest do not have that kind of flexibility, as they have no championship points to their name.
Yep, but luckily FlyQuest has the easiest strength of schedule remaining, but they have to keep things tight. They let a 7K gold lead slip away last week. They've shown some weaknesses, and despite that, Flame in the top lane had a really good week, and if they can clean up their play, they can defend their playoff spot, because right now, they are in one of those playoff spots. They just need to lock it in. With that easy schedule, it would be a given, but like I said, things have not been smooth sailing for FlyQuest. There's been some rough wins.
Schedule shuffles around today. That 7-7 for them. Could definitely use, as you're saying, that win to look for a playoff spot and be a little more secured. Aatrox, Kindred, Rise, and Zoe here. They're up against the 5 and 9 Clutch Gaming.
Ooh, the Nocturne.
Blue.
It's interesting because Clutch Gaming have actually banned out a lot of what you would ban on red side and saying FlyQuest, there's too many OPs. Let's just kind of push these down. Taliyah's one that jumps up. Akali's another one that jumps up to mind right now. Rakan.
Instead of saying you take one, we take one, they're saying
Morg.
take them off the board.
There's so much. Rakan,
Hakuho's
Morgana,
board.
right?
Hakuho's,
Akali, yep, there it is.
Ooh. Power of Evil and Febiven. Bringing over a little bit of European spice here to the mid lane. Now they're going to be playing Akali. A few of the first plays we have here in the NALCS will be for those two. We'll see how he can do on it. Going to get safety and Tahm Kench hovered here for FlyQuest as they decide possibly what their bot lane will consist of.
Yep. Interesting because the Braum had been serving them incredibly well in terms of JayJ plus WILDTURTLE.
Yeah, JayJ's Braum for sure.
Yeah, and so having the Tahm Kench is just safety here for him instead of an aggressive play in the bottom side of the map. I wonder if it's because they expect a Morgana to come through for Hakuho later in the draft, and they want to protect against that. Because it also works against those hook champions, right? So if there is a Thresh that comes out for Clutch Gaming, they'll be able to actually work against that.
Just looking at FlyQuest kind of consistency of red-blue. And they do not like red side.
No, they do not.
They have one win on red.
Yeah, FlyQuest are 6-0 on blue side, and they are 1-7 on red side.
Oh, that's pretty big.
Yeah.
Let's see how this might affect the champion select if it comes out with something they may not feel comfortable with in that sense. The Nocturne already banned against them. Varus, Taliyah, two big pickups. We've seen a lot of Varus bans come through lately, so he finally gets onto the list for the LCS stage in our final game here in day 1 of week 8. And LeBlanc also on the ban list quite a bit. Gets into the mid lane for Keane.
It's interesting because LeBlanc usually jumps on the ban list because she's a counter to Zoe, and if Zoe's picked up, Fizz is another one. Like, we're seeing more and more assassin, AP assassin mids. Like, we had the talent for a bit, the AD, the funnel was working.
Yep.
Now it's Akali, LeBlanc, Fizz. Those champions can really be played in the mid lane and played into control mages too. Their wave clear is actually decent. There's the Braum ban from FlyQuest saying they don't want to play against Braum Varus, one of the things that they love to play themselves.
I like the initiation takeaway.
And making sure that WILDTURTLE doesn't have that champion that can also pair well with the Tahm Kench. I think Jhin may be the other one that they could potentially play and force him on. Maybe Kai'Sa too.
Alistar, wow, Hakuho just getting slapped around and champion select on this one. It's like, hey, take your supports away, but you're just going to get him Thresh. You're going to get something good still.
Well, they're trying to make sure that he doesn't have a tanky champion, because look at Clutch Gaming's lineup.
That's a good point.
There's a
Overall,
no tank jungler here for them, right? So if you go and you ban away these support tanks, you kind of force Solo not to play like a Gangplank or something like that, unless you're going to make Clutch have this really squishy composition.
True.
Where they're running like a Morgana Gangplank as their last 2 picks.
Kai'Sa might have that Gnar for Solo on the top side. And they do, like you said, leave that Gangplank up. Maybe they go for it. They take the damage and miss out on a little bit more of that health. The Ziggs hover. On the side from Clutch Gaming here, as they have 10 seconds for this pick as they run down the clock, thinking of actually both picks. They just don't want to string themselves out here. Run it down. Is he going to switch? Yeah, he's going to switch. Oh, they do take the Gangplank, so it's quite squishy across the board. Now a support coming in for Hakuho here, as this is just going to be a fighter-style team so far that we're seeing. Could put the Shen that's still on the board, a little bit of tank, a little bit of safety for the team, but not so much Hakuho initiation.
Yeah, I would expect something like the Morgana here for all the squishies, make sure they don't get caught.
Oh, Pyke! Okay.
Damage for damage.
Okay. You want some damage with your damage? And it looks like we are going to see on the side, Rumble, a little more power coming in. Rumble not locked in. He's going to flip around, and we'll see. Rounding out this composition, they could have Mundo or Cho'Gath on the top side, as we saw the bans really focusing
It's
the
Flame.
bot. It is Flame, and he is going to set that top lane ablaze with Rumble as he locks it in.
Yeah, he's been playing way more carries his last 3 games. His last 4 games, or 5 actually, he was Gangplank, then the Mundo, that's the one that's the outlier, but it was Gangplank, Kennen, Gangplank, Rumble.
Love the Kennen.
So playing a lot more of those carries in the top lane. And he has been performing well, like we said earlier. And up against Solo, we'll see what he does here, but this matchup is one where you shove in, the Gangplank kind of has later game effect, and the Rumble is more mid-game oriented. So taking over the game here for FlyQuest, it seems like mid-game is named the game with WILDTURTLE as the insurance policy, but that mid lane. I'm watching Keane Febiven, assassin on assassin.
I'm excited about that as well. This is going to be a hotly contested lane. I want to see who gets the jungle pressure first. We kind of saw, not a flub, but the bit of a mixed rotation being the reason Power of Evil got his kill onto Smithy last game. It wasn't really a 1v1. It was kind of oop, we're scattered. I was able to do enough damage right off the bat there. So see how Febiven works it. Cannot wait to see what happens in this bot lane as well. I really like Pyke into Tahm Kench. It makes the Tahm Kench think so much more about how he has to utilize his skills, because you're getting dragged in and then you're getting stunned. If you have your opponent, if you have your teammate in your mouth while you're stunned, you're not going very far. Yep. You really have to sort out that situation once you're up against Pyke in the lane. And we're about to see that in just a few. Good lanes all around for each team. Let's say you could have a win in each one, so strength is there. Who can come out into that mid game? It's going to be Clutch versus FlyQuest. We are on the Rift for your final game of the day. Dematerializers for Keane, so he can push in that lane a little bit more.
Yeah, Akali's big weakness is being melee and having very low wave clear until level 9. And different skin this time.
Dun, 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 dun. Naruto run. And the walk. Home crowd love.
I love it.
I guess everybody's a home crowd. They're just getting it right.
Well, a lot of fans of FlyQuest here.
Yeah.
Actually, I met a FlyQuest fan the other day, and they asked me a question that I couldn't answer. And it was, why did WILDTURTLE capitalize his entire name this year?
Because he's wild.
But like, it was always just capital W, capital T, the start of this year. And then I was like, wait, did he? And I'm like, yeah, it says WILDTURTLE. He's just shouting it. He's here.
It's like the easiest way to initiate that feeling of a new pair of shoes, right? You put on that new pair of shoes, you get onto the soccer field or base, whatever, you're like, got confidence in this.
Got
it's
the
like,
new
how can you
IGN.
do that the easiest way without actually getting shoes? Change the thing you love the most, your name, but just capitalize it. And now he's awesome. Except you didn't add XX360. Well, I mean, you get the chance, right? But sometimes you miss.
Yeah. But I actually legitimately wonder why he capitalized it. Because there's people like LirA who just have like capital A at the end, Gorilla and Prey who capitalize the last letter and the first letter.
I'm gonna laugh when he's just like, it's consistency. Our tag is capitalized, so I just wanted it all the way through. Well, you never know. It could be something as simple as that. WILDTURTLE. He's got caps lock for a smile.
Oh,
Yeah, see? It's just caps lock, that's his life.
That's a slogan right there. Hold on to that one, Riv. You shouldn't have told me. I'm sorry.
Trademark. DM. Alt 0153. It's the code for trademark.
Do you actually know that?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Febiven taking some good damage here from Keane early. Hasn't actually used any materializers yet, so he's kind of just playing the lane as is.
Yeah, you gotta wait for it. It turns on later on in the game.
Oh, you're right. You're right. Yeah. I was like, it's cooling down. No, he hasn't used it. Obviously.
Yeah. It's to make sure that the first cannon minion is obliterated, right?
This is mine. Goodbye.
LirA on the bottom side, level 2. That's so well set.
That's the stun. That's what you need to worry about. You can't get yourself to safety. You're trying to save your teammate. First blood onto JayJ from the bot side. That goes to Apollo.
That was really well done there from Hakuho with LirA coming in at that same moment, because that's warded. And so as soon as they spot him out, it's like, all right, we're going to back up. Hakuho is already pulling him back with the Q and then having the E across. And you saw JayJ held onto his flash. It's absolutely the appropriate choice there to not flash, because you're pretty much dead. You're getting red buff slowed by the basic attacks. But what you trade for that is your whole top side jungle. So LirA has to go to the bottom side, and that's why Hakuho pushes up and goes mid so that they can go ahead and cycle in here. Free that all up.
Interesting that Hakuho didn't go Relic. You see Coin and Relic interchange, but you get that damage out of it. We'll see this in the bot side one more time.
Yep, Ace of Predator replay here.
Sink
so
him in.
well done. Hakuho gets the E across. JayJ says, there's nothing I can do. And so they pick up that kill, and then LirA gets to get that bottom side jungle as well and kind of even that up. So really well played there. And LirA, remember, he likes to be very aggressive. That's kind of been the hard part for Clutch to reconcile is they like to play late, except LirA. LirA's like, let me just bash the jungler's head in. Let me
we
go.
remember
Let me go.
LirA's first games, and the guy was level 2-3 Nidalee under the bot tier turret, diving 2 people, right? Before his team was even ready to support AD helping.
Yeah, he's super aggressive.
Yeah,
And,
but it worked. I was saying that worked.
Exactly.
And that's why you see that from him all the time.
but he looks best when he's being aggressive,
Yeah.
up in people's faces, and he's able to actually just exert dominance. And he kind of falls away in the later parts of the game. In terms of, no matter what champion he's on, it just feels like he's not as strong in those parts of the game.
Yeah.
More of an early game jungler.
Whether it's
like
the confidence or the champions he picks, it's kind of a combination of both at
the
times.
style for sure.
The style, good way to put it. Good word. What is going to be the hit here? I was going to say, it seems like Hakuho is just positioning for a quick grab. They want to get that harass on as they have just the cannon advantage. Got to play your advantages right. As LirA returns to the top side, says, let's scope everything out.
Just gets his timers, making sure that it was cleared.
Nothing else to be seen here. Flame 40-23 on the top side in CS. He is just pushing solo into the turret. This one, he'll be able to clean up a bit, but still a great lead.
Yep. Just, instead of interacting and just going back and forth, you can see Solo is making sure that he just picks up whatever CS he can. He's Gangplank, so the gold is worth minions are worth a little bit more because of the parlay. But Febiven, no teleport this time. Has the ignite, which I expect more from Akali's.
Ooh.
Oh, there's the chain afterwards.
One chain, dash forward with distortion. They pop him back just inside turret range, and they're going to be able to get the kill. Santorin flashes out safely. LirA just on the heels, wants a play, possibly over the wall. No shove onto Keane, and no follow-up there from Clutch Gaming. Hakuho is in the wing, but FlyQuest feel good about picking up that kill onto Febiven.
Yeah, it was a hard outplay there from Keane. He waited for the Shroud, threw out the E, and then he just chased Febiven down with W to follow the flash, so he still had the tether. And that made Febiven blow both summoner spells. And Keane only had to blow one for that kill. He got the other one out of Santorin, so has that flash for potential re-kill and revisit in the mid lane. Also got 2 stacks on his Dark Seal, so gets the bone plating out, waits for the Obscure to go away, starts running away, gets it right around the minion wave too. So well done there, the W chase and the flash. That's what clean looks like.
So good to get that kill on a lane with hardly any crowd control either. Obviously, you have Keane's chain, but conditionally, that has to hit. Not like you're hitting him with a Rise stun. Be able to take out an Akali, pretty great, and Febiven is going to have a hard time kind of recouping that.
Yeah,
Hangs off on the side to see if he can get some health advantage in lane off a quick hit.
Yeah, and it's hard for the Akali to actually blow up the LeBlanc because even though you have all these dashes, you kind of have to play around her dashes.
And say, I'm going to go in, well, she's out. She
Yeah.
can play as safe as she can play aggressive.
and she can kind of kite you a little bit more. But LirA,
Oh, no way.
There's something smelly in that bush.
Oh, you should have let him take more damage from Gromp. Just completely eating him up. I like the late pillar as well. He had to get around it. So he was like, all right, use the Gromp first, then pillar, force your flash. Santorin is on fire here, and his Trundle pickups have been really great for FlyQuest.
Yeah, and being active on the Trundle is something we don't see a lot of them do. Sometimes they'll go straight for the Cinderhulk or the Tiamat and just go for farming. But when you're able to bully the enemy jungler, you aren't just making sure that you're good against their tanks later, but you're also really good in the early parts of the game. The Trundle is a little odd man out here because, like we said, there isn't really a tank for Clutch Gaming that he'll have a good time kind of vamping against. But it's great to be active early and shut down LirA, and now he doesn't have that flash for if he was going to go for a gank.
Almost.
Yeah, speaking of being active, Hakuho, mobility boots, kind of roaming all around. Santorin returns to the scene of the crime. Gonna go take that blue.
He's just living out here. Yeah, ping on the right side, though. Looks like Hakuho is going to say, I'll get this for you with vision. And they'll give that to LirA. Great pressure by Febiven, knowing his team's going to be in. Says, well, why not tag on a little bit more?
That was his first, that was his R. He used his R there at the end of it, so he doesn't have that extra burst, which you really do want to have. And it looks like we are about to have a pause.
Indeed. Just as we see Clutch kind of heading down towards that bot side to activate a little bit. So we see in the early game pressure a lot towards mid lane. Keane was able to get that kill as Santorin came in, but Santorin has kind of been everywhere. The only place he hasn't been towards that bottom lane to figure out what's going on, and that's where LirA, Apollo, and Hakuho have been able to get their first kill. All turrets stand so far and only a 300 gold lead. I gotta say most of that is Flames on the top side, 71 to 53 CS.
Yeah.
Something you gotta think about in that, though, Zyrene, is when Akali shrouds, Gangplank ults, there's a lot of chaos in that fight to worry about.
That's true. The shroud by itself actually creates a lot of chaos, dipping in and out. It feels like, because you can extend the duration and make it 8 seconds.
Right, from 5 to 8.
From 5 to 8 seconds. And if she's dipping in and out of that, like, just for context and like a reference point, like Azonia's is 2.5. So it's already twice as long as Azonia's if she wants to stay inside that thing. So it's so much protection for an assassin to just sit around, and you make it almost 3 times, a little bit over 3 times the duration of Azonia's.
Hasn't fooled them the first time. They were able to get that quick play onto Febiven. It's kind of, that play reminded me a lot of kind of using your just escape in the lane. You see that for Akali. If a lot of teams wait for Shroud to go down, such a vulnerable position. If you can get that before 6, obviously can E and sure can flip out of a situation, but it's the little things. And you quickly learn about a champion to say, hey, all right, Shroud down, Volley becomes a super vulnerable champion.
Exactly, and that's why you saw Febiven go in off of that. Keane go in off of that.
Onto
Febiven. But what we're hearing on stage is the issue is Solo feels like he is experiencing some lag on LAN, and I mean, that stuff happens sometimes, right? If it's an FPS issue, if it's something with just like inputs or whatever. I mean, sometimes my web browser has too many tabs and it has been open for too long and it just takes so much
this happens.
CPU.
This happens. I know these people exist. I don't know, man. I'll make like maybe 3 tabs and I'm good.
Oh, you only do 3?
If I can see so many tabs up there, you can't even read what's on the tab and you have to click through like 9 to get it. I'm just like, close it off. No, it's like desktop icons, dude. Get them out of here.
I have my web browser is tab gore is what I would call it. It's just so many tabs. I don't know why I don't like closing things. I'm a tab hoarder. Is what I do. I'm like, I'll visit that page later. It's like you haven't visited that page.
This is the first step. You came out. We know now. We can work on it. See Donald getting in. He'll help Solo out and figure out what this is. And a top lane for him. He's been pushed in from Flame. Flame's on his rumble. You know that's going to be a difficult matchup. The guy has hardly even backed yet at this point with just his shield and a potion in his pocket. And that teleport's still up. We're waiting to see if this Akali does go off. Second game in a row. Second first pick as well. And it has kind of been the focus of other teams instead of the focus of the team picking Akali.
Yeah, they've been trying to kind of shut it down a little bit, or at least neutralize it, I would say. So far, the LeBlanc looked like a good answer there. Not so much in the CS department, but more so in the counter.
Yeah, you can't step up to farm. It's not as easy.
Yeah, it's not a melee champion, but the Galio did work wonders against it in the previous game from Pobelter, where it was making sure that he can just not be blown up. So one of the things that Akali's really good at is just blowing a champion up and getting out. And you can't do that to a Galio. You saw them try multiple times on the side of Optic, where it's like, I don't really know how much damage we had to do to this guy.
Yeah.
But it ended up being more than they had to offer. And in this game, it's squishies all around, though. So the Akali will have prime targets. The LeBlanc will have prime targets as well.
It's interesting how people come to use Akali, where her fights become really pronounced and strong. Because you think about in the jungle, she has that chance to make a 3-second gap and get perfect execution better than being in vision, kind of running in front of a team. It's like, will she have more prowess if you're fighting in those tunnels or if you're fighting out in the open when it comes to being people learn how to use her? Yeah. Be interesting to see.
It's interesting because you would usually think that she'd be better in choke points, but I actually think she's better out in the open.
Really?
Yeah, because I think
I would think choke points.
You would think choke points because you can like get over walls and stuff like that.
You kind of hide in a corner, and you kind of with that gap, you have to guess: do I either shoot it straight or to the left?
Remember, her shroud actually spreads out, and it
that's true.
Wraps around corners and stuff, so it doesn't go over them. And so the thing is I would say out in the open,
it's a love-hate relationship.
She almost creates her own terrain with the obscure in a way that she can navigate that.
That's a good way to put it.
So I really like that kind of concept of she is better out in the open because she, convention doesn't dictate that ninjas would really be good out in the open, but she creates her own space where fighting her around that smoke bomb is better. So.
They're waiting for this to be resolved, looking at FlyQuest side and thinking about their playoff position, where they have come from this season. I should say compared to last season, such strides for them to be able to find so many early wins as opposed to last season, but also string those wins together against teams they normally wouldn't.
Yeah, and this is FlyQuest kind of saying, right now, are they overperforming? But they still have the easiest schedule remaining. Clutch, CLG, Golden Guardians, and Cloud9. They have the easiest remaining schedule. They could easily end 11-7 as their final score.
It's crazy.
And be not even just in like 6th or 5th, they could potentially be in like 4th place moving into playoffs. Like there's a big opportunity here for FlyQuest to step up. And for Clutch, this is kind of the exact opposite of what was going on last time. People said they overperformed, made playoffs, did really well, got 4th place. Now I think it's stark because they're underperforming compared to their level. They're probably somewhere in between that. But right now it's just been their last 6 games. They're 1-5.
Yep.
And it's not looking that much better. This is one that they have to win if they want any chance of climbing up those standings. FlyQuest could run away.
We return to the Rift. A Infernal Drake is on the menu. A little bit of a Crandon barrage topside as Solo's feeling the pressure coming down at 2v1. They do get Flame out alive with a flash there, and the hit from Santorin as he's been from lane to lane to help everybody out.
Yeah, you don't want to be lagging for that one, and even if he wasn't, it doesn't look like he was able to survive. That was so much pressure there. Flame just able to get him underneath the turret. You can see he's up 25 CS, and they're just going to pressure this turret down. They have a cannon minion. TPing back in.
Oh, no.
Double TP. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was...
Put the brakes on.
That was JayJ's single-use summoner spellbook TP.
Yeah.
So that's the Tahm Kench throwing down.
The exhaust coming up from the switch right now.
He's like, nope, you're not TPing back.
That's awesome.
So he actually used a summoner spell that you just get from your Keystone for a real summoner spell that Solo had to cancel on. Right there, down the back of it, flashes away. Yeah,
so close.
I don't feel like there's a way he really makes it out of that because the position of the Rumble ultimate across the back made it so he can't go there. The way he flashed was out of the Rumble ultimate and away from Santorin. If he flashes in any other direction, he's going to take a Tahm. He's going to take anything else there and extra damage. So that looked like they covered a lot of the options.
That was a quick buy and a quick back. Solo gets himself a Sheen. Probably clear up the minions a little bit easier now and try to make Flame think twice about some engages. Won't deter him too much at this point.
Yeah, Flame's online though. He's actually taking Raptor Camp right now. Just
or boots already. He's kind of got the new Taster's Choice for Rumble instead of that Haunting Guys and or Sork boots.
I mean, he's got the magic penetration right now. He's got the 33. Solo has 64 magic resistance though because he does have that null magic mantle.
Yeah.
So it's good buy here from Flame, and I like that when he reaches these mid-game team fights, you see other people are having an index on magic resist too. You see LirA, Febiven with a very early Hex Drinker as his first item. He's not even going towards the Bilgewater Cutlass or anything like that right off the bat. Just survivability versus Keane. Playing for the late game.
Yep.
Kind of how Clutch does things anyway.
Very true. Kind of string you out so you make a mistake. A lot of the times it puts the game under so much pressure that it's hard to not make a mistake yourself.
That's a really good way to put it, Riff, because the longer you go on, the more chance you have to make mistakes. Good ultimate there. I think Santorin still gets locked up and rooted.
Little chain. Oh, they have to separate. Who do they choose, though?
Doesn't matter, Apollo.
The Apollo now. What a hit from FlyQuest to just collapse down onto Clutch Gaming. 3-1 now on the scoreboard.
Yep, there's the delivery there from JayJ. Brings the Santorin in. Keane coming in from the mid. And then you can see Flame is just going between the lanes. Flame is like, all right, well, this is my CS. Going to go back up top, try to pick up that. Because Solo had a huge wave to push. He's almost caught up in CS. Remember, he was down 25 CS.
It has helped. He's been able to have some free time, but that doesn't mean Flame isn't taxing everything else around him at this point. And he's going to get up for most of this wave, too, on the top side. TP back in, 2-0-1 for Santorin. He has participated in everything around the map as the Troll King. Whatever it is his. Looks like Rift Herald might be next on the menu. Red ping goes down on that. Santorin heads towards top side. Doesn't seem like they've switched any of the lanes up just yet. We still have very healthy turrets.
And Santorin heads to the top side of his jungle, and he also has a stopwatch now. Guardian Angel, Gargoyle Stoneplate, you know, those come in usually later for the Trundle if you're going to get either of those. Probably the Gargoyle, but it seems like a single-use stopwatch to try and dive is what I would expect.
The thing love about stopwatch and Zanya's is it's actually two separate things.
Yeah, you give a stopwatch, and then when you back,
you have it.
You pick up the Zonias, and it's up again.
Well, I did it. I had a game that went so fast I didn't get to use my stopwatch, and I had Zanya's, so it's just doubled in a fight, and you're like, yeah. Oh, you think? What? No.
Yeah, but if you ever use a stopwatch in the game, you can never use another stopwatch. You only get one.
Right.
Even if you buy a new one, it's broken.
Who sold me that? Find him.
You're the one who bought it. Just saying.
I signed off. I saw the small font. Just about 1,000 gold lead here for FlyQuest. As Solo has picked up that lead for that deficit for himself. And it's going to be in the kills that we see on the board right now. And that turret dropped on the top side for first blood in turret. Now the pressure here from Clutch. It will be seen with a vision ward. How long will it take them to put something in action, though? That's what becomes scary.
Man, they've just been separating the blue buffs across the map now. It's just been, this is FlyQuest's blue. The other blue belongs to Clutch Gaming. It's just...
For a second, I thought he was returning to base this side.
Yeah, right? They've just been trading the sides of the jungle there and handing off blues.
Somebody needs to get back to mid.
Febiven's going to see Keane. LirA gets the blue. LirA's going to come across the mid. So I think this will be a 4. Actually, there's more people here from the side of Clutch Gaming. FlyQuest are going to come on over like that. WILDTURTLE actually gets chunked.
Yeah, he got hard shoved on that one. Great vision control win here by Clutch. That's why
LirA.
FlyQuest is moving in so slow. Keane steps on the toes of LirA as he comes across trying to get himself into the fight. That does not work. And now they're going to be able to take down Hakuho, focus on a WILDTURTLE, and Keane very low, but still going for the fight as these guys are pushing themselves to the limit. Solo able to clean one up there as he says this is the pirate ship. Come aboard, but he is going to be pushed off. Walk the plank, Solo. A 3v1 as he tries to go hard, but he goes down. And Hakuho, the only one left up because he just spawned again.
And another Rift Herald destined to timeout.
Man.
Picked up by Solo at the end there. We'll see if somebody can actually book it over, but right here, LirA tries to come in. Keane is on point with knocking him off. And he's the first focus, and LirA can't flash his own wall at that point. LirA, yeah, he's seen it. He's seen it. That ward sees Keane the whole time. Stopwatch, flash not able to clear it, stuck in the wall, knocks him back.
Feels bad, man.
And then the GP ultimate to try and make it so that they, I actually wonder if he meant to go over the wall. I don't know. Because sometimes you go a little too far.
That's Mr. Owl.
Because maybe he wanted to R and then passive basic attack. May have actually overshot it there.
Makes sense. The heals and kills there for Santorin as well kept him alive as people were dying with his assist coming.
Yeah,
he had
that's true.
On. All the little things that, honestly, those fights, you saw Clutch so close to getting killed, that makes you step forward. You say, okay, I will use my flash. And then if it goes bad, that means the next fight's probably going to go bad too. You're down to flash. The other team's getting those kills. And that's exactly how it happened. 8-2 now. You see how quick that scoreline catapults up here for FlyQuest after just one fight. An Infernal Drake now in their favor as those are split between the teams. on the Rift.
Yeah, you know what the funny thing is about Trundle is he gets a percentage of the units that die around him in terms of enemies.
Yep.
If there's any enemies that die near him, he gets a percentage of their HP back. When you kill Rift Herald, he gets 650 HP back. So he was almost dead.
Big boom.
Solo finished off the Rift Herald. He got a gigantic amount of HP back, and that's just Trundle passive. But even though
accidentally outplay yourself.
yeah, I mean, it's those big HP monsters. I think it's happened before where like low HP killed the Rift Herald, and I was like, what? It can be like 700 HP. What's going on? It's the passive.
Frozen Domain, still not getting him in range as Febiven's able to get himself to safety. Stays for the minion wave though, 5-point strike, almost clearing that wave. One more will be nice and good to go.
And now he's going for that Hextech Gunblade. Made a little pit stop at the Hex Drinker. Has the extra MR with the Merc Treads. But that's a Luden's Echo for Keane, who's 3-0-2 on this LeBlanc. So the assassination potential is online. And he's up against 5 squishies. So it's a perfect time for him to start roaming around, looking to push in these lanes. And get his team ahead.
Most quick clears there as they're trying to get just upper hand on a possible fight. Nothing happened. We haven't even really seen too much action. There's been a lot of fights in mid, but it's all been very quickly in favor of FlyQuest. It's not WILDTURTLE having the killer instinct in, or you see the big rumble ult from Flame. It's all very coordinated here as they orchestrate another dive under the turret. The chain just out of range, but it is rinse and repeat for FlyQuest, and they have yet to be punished for this mid lane dive, even staying a little too long.
Yeah.
One of these times they're gonna get bit.
Yeah, no flash there for Febiven, but you can still see the Shuriken toss into the R, get him away, and he had a second R available afterwards.
He's ready.
So he's ready to get out, but they're still getting this ability, this ultimate, out of him pretty routinely. And that turn's about to drop, even though Febiven is at
one
that
hit.
If Febiven's at that level 9 point where you have the maxed Q, but he doesn't have enough AD or AP behind it to wave clear the caster minions. He gets very close to clearing them out with a single Q. We need Gunblade for that.
I like that simple play by Keane, and it's something everybody should bring into their games. If you take down a turret, put a ward next to it.
Yes.
Because that's where your minions are usually going, and you would have had vision there. So keep vision there. It's so great, especially to see some people hop into the jungle. Take a turret, throw your vision down.
Well, yeah, your minions will go there, and it usually gives you a kind of an idea of after they clear it, where they go.
Exactly.
That's what you need to know is once they clear your minion wave, which side are they going to? Where are they roaming? And that allows you to react.
See Febiven walking over it right now, and they know he's just going to stay in lane. Has that pressure from Hakuho. They know he needs a little bit more love with that mid turret down. And FlyQuest standing strong with that outer defensive turret line. They can push up hard. Have a quick retreat line. A little bit onto the next Mountain Drake here.
It's been a pretty silent game for WILDTURTLE. JayJ has been roaming around, and WILDTURTLE's been kind of teaming up with him.
Oh, killer goes in. Hakuho on the Pyke, able to get out. JayJ, who's he bringing in? It's going to be him and Turtle. There's the killer instinct from Turtle. Apollo gets hit up by the plasma. That's going to be the finishing kill, and he's able to waltz out of that one. Bit of a speed steroid forward. Equalizer comes down. Hakuho gets out with a sliver. Febiven looking for at least an attack, but he will not be able to kill any of those targets, so he holds off.
And there's literally like 5 seconds on Solo's ultimate to be back up. The Cannon Barrage is now coming off a cooldown, so he can't assist. There it is, just to clear the minion wave out.
Looks like they're all going to stay safe. They say, hey, we have the pressure here, we have the vision, we know Solo's top, we can stay and not have to take this turret down until our next wave comes in. And now they're not feeling as comfortable as they lose that top turret.
Lose the top turret, keep that bottom one, but here comes Keane from the side, the 3-0-3 LeBlanc. Yeah, he's just dominating the mid lane. He's going to come over to the side, pressure them off, and they're going to have to give up this turret.
Red buff LeBlanc. That's annoying.
Take it away, make sure nobody can have it.
Distort forward, slow you with an auto, and then you're caught by the entire team.
Yeah, the E as well. Makes it easier to land.
Yeah. Double slows all over the place. So, double buff for Keane as he makes his way back to mid. Darksteel stacking up there. He's got his Ludens on his orb as well.
Say Darksteel stacking up. It's almost fully stacked.
Yeah.
So filling up at this point. One more stack left to get. Keane gets pulled over, snaps back. But this was the thing that got me is WILDTURTLE, he threw out the W. You're expecting him to kind of come across the map with it, but he comes in JayJ's belly, and then he ultimates across the flames. The classic Riv, the red carpet.
Yep. Flame might be going down here. Death from below, dodged out on that. Oh my God, Flame lives! Huge play by JayJ. Flame gets out with 200 HP. Keane's not gonna have the same result though. Only one can make it out alive, and they actually lose Keane. Good shutdown gold for Clutch at this point.
I actually like that from Keane where he snapped back because he went in a bad direction, and Febiven, the Akali, the person that he has to lane against to kind of keep down, was about to get that shutdown gold from him. Snaps back, says no, okay, give it to somebody else.
Mountain Drake coming up. Looks like Clutch Gaming wants to get that vision control here and make it uncontested. Good 20 seconds even to get out of base to that dragon, especially from red side. So they're going to have to wait maybe, or at least extend it on that side of FlyQuest. They could just get the time though. 10 seconds onto Drake, helps them out.
Yep, 10 seconds. Speaking of seconds, one more, and there's Cannon Mirage back up for solo.
What is he running?
He has that ready to go.
What is it these days? Where is it? Stop moving. Fire at will.
Poor Will.
Fire at will. Poor Will.
He didn't do anything, man.
Cannon Barrage's rate of fire will increase over its duration.
It keeps the slow persistent.
Yeah.
Which is the big reason that you want it in the team fights. It's also, it increases just the number of waves in it. So I believe it's also technically more damage too. So I believe Fire at Will is usually the one people go for, followed by Death's Daughter.
Sounds pretty great.
Yep. And this will be the second dragon here for FlyQuest.
That feels good. Mountain and Infernal. All the stat buffs that they could want in terms of doing damage. As we see this fight onto Flame that caught him out, where Clutch had the upper hand.
But they don't kill him though. Flame
had the upper hand.
Dodges both Apollo's Q and the death from below. JayJ comes in, says, thank you very much. I will take that snack and get right out. And then Keane, he was walking towards Febiven, and he goes back and gives it over to LirA on the Taliyah, and no assist to Febiven.
I only wish that JayJ stayed pointed at the fight. That way it just like caught burning fire out of his mouth.
Oh, yeah.
From the flame.
It's actually coded to do that.
Yeah. It was pretty funny to see.
The rumbles in his belly just... That's how you make bellows breath.
It is true. It's true. We've got to combine a few to make something great. 10-3 as the kills keep mounting for FlyQuest with hardly any answer from Clutch. They've been able to do a good bit of damage to the map. They have to find a way to take FlyQuest members off to really get through that front line. Here it's just to clean up the wards first. FlyQuest actually has a very good defensive ward line, so it's not like Clutch can take these fights any farther than the front turret.
Yeah. And FlyQuest, it's going to be interesting because their dive is decent. They can use the ultimate from Rumble and then have somebody follow up. It's basically siege into dive, but it's pretty hard pressed. There really isn't a true tank on the side of Clutch, so Santorin gets to run around and use the Gargoyle Stoneplate that he completed to impose his will on the game if he wants to dive. But you have to watch out for all these squishies, and that's why I'm looking at something like WILDTURTLE. Although it's a squishy Kai'Sa, he has the stopwatch, he has a Tahm Kench that has Knight's Vow, and he has a Tahm Kench that's going to eat him up anyway. So killing WILDTURTLE is going to be difficult. Throw in the fact that he has that invisibility on his E. Yeah, it becomes very tricky to nail this Kai'Sa down, and you have to land something like the hook, like the stun, or get the Chain of Corruption onto him. Like, cool.
A little back and forth there as they test the waters between Turtle and Hakuho.
All right, so
no bite though.
Febiven has the Gunblade completed, still respecting Keane, and I think that's a situation where you go, I don't want to test this. Because once you damage check the other person and you're committed to it, one of you will probably die. You just have to figure out ahead of time, do the math, quick math in your head, figure out who's going to die first. And if it's you, no, shouldn't have done it. So people don't like taking that risk.
Shouldn't have done it.
Yeah, you ever walk up to somebody, hit them a few times, you go, wow, you're strong. I'm so sorry. Like, back up.
Yeah, after you buy an item, you want to see how much damage you do. It's usually when you get taken out, too.
Yeah.
Team, just you get a lot of question mark pings. It's something you think about all night. It's sad. Yeah. Goes bad. Goes bad. Here, that's what they're trying to prevent. Obviously, Clutch knows you're behind. Even if they get a core item right now, it's in hopes that it can be used in a mistake that FlyQuest puts forward. Here they go towards the bot side of the map. Even with Baron up, I don't think they're going to put too many people towards Flame. They're just giving him the vision to be safe if he gets any farther past River. Setting up the map here to spread Clutch Gaming thin. Try to make some plays. No vision on a Baron for really anybody right now.
Yeah.
A little lacking. Got one ward there for FlyQuest. It's kind of tucked under the Baron. Oh, Keane. I like Clutch how they're moving up slowly, though. It's not to just try and take out Keane and say, let's put our wards down and make sure we're not going to get collapsed down by FlyQuest. They're so quiet right now. Sure, it's got to be intense on the Rifts to say, yeah, everybody's in that brush, or that brush, or that one. Good rule of thumb to live by.
Yeah, but you can't be paralyzed by that, because
that's true.
It could literally be in every brush that you don't have checked.
It's a really good point. Kind of like, do you want to make that call? No. Well, we got to do something. Silence is chaos.
Yeah.
You really need to keep continuing to put something forward. Here we see FlyQuest saying, all right, now it's time for a little bit of that Baron vision. They start to feel comfortable of vision they can protect, push down that mid lane a little bit more.
Yeah, these turrets on the side, Clutch Gaming need to kind of get that out of the way, get that bottom tier 1 turret, threaten the mid. They do have Taliyah and LirA can set up some of those walls later on, but you need to find enough of a push here. It doesn't look like Solo's beating Flame or that Febiven is beating Keane. So you kind of just slowly lose the 1-3-1 to this team. And I guess they're trying to play for a little bit of scaling then, or believe that they scale on the side of Clutch Gaming. Granted, that's how they always play, regardless of what composition they have. Play for late. Interesting.
Oh! Very hard onto Febiven here. They see Hakuho on the side. They're going to go full dive. Missing the plasma. Doesn't allow for the killer instinct follow to do too much. And they actually go full on. Febiven lives, but he wants to fight across the base gate. LirA with a great shove here. And now they have FlyQuest in retreat. The follow of Weaver's wall actually cuts off Clutch. They're forced to destroy the wall and cannot follow.
Oh, LirA, that was, oh man. You could have got more flashes. You could have just put up a wall and stopped them all.
A little too short.
You can't be hasty about building walls. You gotta think of the logistics of it.
Man, big catch there, or a big break, I should say, caught by FlyQuest to get themselves to safety in what was going a little too hard. They've been doing a great job at taking a turret, getting out, finding that advantage, saying we're okay with that. Even after we saw Febiven get away, they still went for that dive over and over.
Yeah, but you saw the slipperiness there that the Akali has. The flash, the
Absolutely.
E, then he R'd after the pillar went up, got to the other side of it, and then 3 seconds later, second R, and able to have the Twilight Shroud back up after the use of the stopwatch. So I think he'll get Zhonya's next to save him there. And it looks really good, but I like that.
Step forward. Don't step forward.
Aha!
Womp womp.
The chick is up, get out! Pork chop sandwiches.
5,000 HP. This is definitely a fight that we could see Clutch get to. JayJ very low. Gray health is on. He's going to give himself up for the team. And that is going to be a death. But this is huge now. FlyQuest stayed too long. This is actually what I was just talking about. Do they know they have that advantage? And then back to come back to Baron. It looks like they'll be able to push Clutch Gaming off all the same. But still a very risky play to put into action. Hello.
Yeah, pulls him right on over.
10-4 though. FlyQuest feels like they have a little bit of room to play with. A slight gold lead doesn't really say much about the game, but they have been controlling the map much better.
Yeah, it just seems like Clutch Gaming, they, like we said, they scale. Like, I don't even think it's the champions, it's like their mentality scales. Later in the game, they're like, we got this. LirA's like, all right, early game, that's where he goes. The rest of the team is like, don't worry, we scale. It's like, we literally do not outscale. No, we scale, we got this. We're smarter in the late game. And that's just how they've played ever since pretty much the existence of Clutch. Like, I looked at their fastest win time in their 5 games, and it's 32 minutes. Oh! Game, but hold on. He scales. Solo scales.
He scales! And he's about to tip those scales right here. A barrel next to Flame. Scrap Shield keeps him alive, but the Sterix Gauge Rage keeps Solo healthy.
Easy pickup there for him. Runs forward, gets Flame, got the flash out of him, too.
That is starting to
1v1s him, and now, yeah, play for the late game. Late game's here.
Late game has arrived. But definitely for Solo, he is something to be reckoned with now on the outside, or I should say just the side lanes. And it might take more than Flame to do a little janitorial duty and clean up the mess that Solo's about to make in those sides. Yeah. So FlyQuest definitely has something on their plate to think about after being, as just said, in control of the game more or less for the last 30 minutes until that play.
You can see Solo is having a ball there. He was laughing at the end. He was still all smiles there about that kill on the player cam. really happy about that one, because I wonder what happened at the start, because usually something in that 1v1 where it's like he didn't expect you to be there, you got a sick barrel chain or something sets that up, because the Rumble will typically play at a distance that's safe for him and just kind of poke you out or clear the waves and kind of have a gentleman's agreement and then show up for team fights. But something had to happen there that was making Solo smile so much.
It's like, it just feels good to take down Flame.
His Flame had been performing well. We talked about it at the start. But right now it's Santorin who's 2-0-6 and the rest of the team. But if Flame is now losing the one-on-one on the side lane to Solo, then it means that the 1-3-1 is one that's no longer in favor of FlyQuest.
Yeah.
It's more in favor of Clutch Gaming.
And that dynamic flips as well, because then you need to see action from Keane and WILDTURTLE again, who had control in the early game and were doing a great job holding off mid-pressure without needing to fight. Now you might need to see a little bit more action for them, which forces everybody into situations. That becomes the fun part, because when you force people into things, they make mistakes or make awesome plays. It's just what we want, awesome plays. 32 minutes on the clock. Looks like we might get one as Cloud Drake is up. Also, that Baron could be toyed with here. It looks like Santorin's going to pull it out and see if Clutch Gaming wants to have a go at it. Looks uncontested for this one. And 3 Drakes now in favor of FlyQuest. All their mission is missing is an Ocean.
Yep, that's a real fast take there, especially because the Kaisa does a lot of damage to neutral objectives with the passive plus the Rage Blade. And I actually looked back at it, because it doesn't look like we're going to get a replay of it. Was Solo, it looked like Flame face-checked him when he was almost overheated, had a barrel blow up in his face, then Flame overheated himself, so he can't actually do anything, and he got double barrel chained afterwards. So he basically ate 2 barrels back-to-back while being silenced. So the one-on-one, that definitely goes in your favor there, where I think Flame uses something like a scrap shield or misses the E to actually start it off and overheat himself.
Barrel in the brush, not there. Interesting. Flame says, I am not, or I'm sorry, Solo says, I am not alone. You can see the Yo move being used immediately as the lane gets pushed up. Well, now he can see that Turtle's there.
The pro tip that you were given of ward the lane, it's warded in the middle of the lane. They just saw a WILDTURTLE on the bottom side.
Take it down, ward it. Makes sense. Keep that vision, keeps himself alive. Teleport's up for him, so if he actually needs to get anywhere with the team, it is possible. Same for Flame. Things are getting very, very tense here on the Rift for both teams. And FlyQuest, knowing how much that playoff position matters to them, is also looming in the back of each play, which kind of makes it that much harder to have a clear mind going in.
And FlyQuest have that easy schedule remaining, but it could go either way for them, right? The season has been all over the place. And Clutch Gaming, if they start surging at the end here, and right now, I think this game is actually hanging in the balance where Solo now has all those items that he needs. He has the Storm Razor for the guaranteed crits against these squishy champions. He's going to start rushing up.
Death's Daughter, fire at will there. A javelin or piercing arrow missed by Apollo. No chain of corruption to follow as there's enough speed to get out. And FlyQuest has diverted most of Clutch towards the bot side. The teleport now coming in from Apollo as he tries to get himself close. LirA has the Weaver's wall. He can decide where to cut it off, and it looks like it's going to be right in front of the Baron if he wants it, or inside the pit to take damage. LirA cooking up Zanya's stopwatch onside equalizer. As nobody's engaged just yet. Turtle! Oh my god, Turtle to the backside! Threads the attacks in! A 2v1, he stopwatches now to pull, clutches eyes towards him, stays alive! Ignite goes down and he keeps himself alive! What a play from WILDTURTLE! Febiven in 2v1 as they're able to take down Santorin at the end of the fight. Clutch is starting to clean up, but the Baron needs to stay on members of FlyQuest, and that's what they have solidified. 4 members make it out so far, but they are running into Solo, and Clutch has a possibility to re-engage. The flash from JayJ may have done it all. The fight diffusing with the last few shots from Solo, and it looks like they may actually want to get back in. Flame says, pull me. Flame spit her out, and he's actually overheating. Back and forth. Plasma's gonna miss, so Turtle does not come in. But oh my word, nobody knows when to stop these fights, and it's great.
Yeah, it's an incredibly hectic fight. It was hard to see what Febiven got in terms of a piece of that fight, but the equalizer comes down. LirA can't really do anything. If he moves off it, he has to move forward because the pillar behind him perfectly set up there. And then LirA almost dies. WILDTURTLE goes in off of the W, and then Hakuho doesn't quite land the ultimate here. Aims a little bit too... Ooh, it's where WILDTURTLE used to be. The flash came out off to the right. Hakuho was not able to nail that one down, because if he had that ultimate still up, that's potential to kill Flame. That's potential to get another reset too.
It feels so good to go in the air, but there is hang time to death from below. You can get out of that ultimate.
Yeah. The flash from WILDTURTLE was a little bit before it, and then Hakuho put it in, but whew, wasn't going to land true. And that's still, like I said, it's hard to kind of stick on WILDTURTLE here. The invisibility, the fact that he has the ultimate, and then he has the Zhonya's to boot. And a Tahm Kench. The Tahm Kench wasn't really there that time, but still. WILDTURTLE gets to dive in, play that style. It's funny because when Kai'Sa was designed, it was with the idea of, you know, marksmen don't really get to live out that fantasy of diving in the backline. Like, you can play Corki maybe, and then when you have the package, you dive in, and you get 2 Valkyries, so you can go in, be crazy, be a daring bombardier. Like, what are you doing? That's what Kai'Sa is.
That was the definition also of WILDTURTLE.
That's the capitalized WILDTURTLE.
That's the capitalized WILDTURTLE. That's why he capitalized the name. It looked like Shuriken flip just missing out there, but that would have been the rocket jump forward. And then he has no way to get out. Here you have that extra steroid, and he plays the way he wants to be playing in the middle of that fight with the shell on. Pushing down towards the mid lane here, 37 minutes coming up on the clock, and Baron is still taking for 1 minute onto FlyQuest. Febiven trying to hold off the bot side as we see FlyQuest take mid, second tier. Dodge, dodge, and dodgy, dodge, dodge.
Didn't have the ultimate, but there you go, in the back.
Apollo can't even get out of these fights. He goes down immediately. Hakuho comes in from the side to grab Flame, but he feels good as he gives the team the rest of the time to assess what's going on. Keane down towards the bot side, pulling 2 into his favor. He just plays a little bit of a mimic game there with his clone. Oh my god, almost taking down Febiven solo here. FlyQuest is just firing on all cylinders.
Yep, they got that middle inhibitor. They're going for the bottom inhibitor here, and there's 15 seconds on Baron, so they crack the base. That's a successful Baron power play.
13-6, and very successful indeed. The 7-7 team look to make themselves 8-7 with a few more final touches. They have their eyes set on those playoffs, and their eyes set to start winning here at week 8, day 1.
Gotta be careful here on this reset. Both teams, WILDTURTLE going after, goes in.
Bada bing, bada boom. Also doesn't have any mana though. He's gotta be real careful how deep he goes. And bye-bye. The Abyssal Voyage out. That was a round trip there for Turtle and JayJ.
I love that. I don't think I've seen an Abyssal Voyage professional play that was used that way, where the person's like, get in my mouth when you're ready to go.
Out. To be honest, a lot of the times when we see Tahm Kench, we don't see him Abyssal Voyage in a lot of games. And there, Febiven takes himself to an Abyssal Voyage. He'll be back in just under a minute. 60 seconds on these death timers now. It's crazy what you can think, or what you can do if you think about how long you're now in a 5v4. Pressure that. Right now it's an Elder Drake. 3 Drakes to FlyQuest looking to be buffed up here. As Clutch Gaming cannot do much more than throw the Cannon Barrage down. The ward is already denied, so they don't even have that time of death for the Drake. An Elder to FlyQuest at 38.5 minutes.
The Elder Dragon, 3 elementals behind it.
Oof.
And yeah, the fact that they had the Baron and they cracked the base now means they can go ahead and use this Elder and just force themselves through the game, get themselves that victory. Don't allow Clutch to get to that ultra late game. Try to close it out and move up the standings and get closer to securing themselves a playoff spot.
Slowly pushing in a gigantic wave up here on the top side. Apollo says, no! Hail of arrows, let's clear this as LirA works the ground a bit. Solo not looking like he's in a good spot. Killer Instinct coming in from Turtle onto Solo. 2v2, Zhonya's goes down for Turtle, stopwatch rather. And now they're about to take the fight. He lives again with a sliver of health. Defying death more than once this game. Turtle looking to re-enter the fight from the side. Plasma's in. LirA gets hit as JayJ could be the lockdown on this, but cannot get in range for Devour. Keane looking to hit him, knocks him off the wall. And will he crack? Oh, he gets saved by Santorin, but in the end will fall to the damage. And it's going to be the cleanup crew here from FlyQuest as they play with their food, looking to push themselves forward to 8-7. A great double kill for Hakuho as he's trying to execute on the Pyke. The dive comes through and he hits JayJ first. No execute coming through on the Kench, of course. He can't gut the fish. And now they're on to Turtle. He goes down. FlyQuest staying a little too long. Don't get dessert on this one, and Clutch Gaming holds off for more fights.
Wow, I have no idea how that last little move there from Hakuho didn't hit him. It looked like it was right
just a misclick.
It was so close. But
right all again from the start, starting on Turtle.
You're talking about the shell. WILDTURTLE's like, all right, the shell is on. The Zhonya's hourglass just all of that damage he can do. Woo. The ultimate to give him the shield on top of it. Stays alive. Now he's contributing with basically W's from afar, but they hurt a ton. Almost takes out LirA there. Throws another one here that...
Oh, the plasma.
Oh, and just to the other side, you know? That would have been the ultimate alley-oop.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was going to say. Such a great play.
Yeah, Hakuho basically kills the LeBlanc clone there, and then he wants to go up. He wants to get Wild Turtle. This is so close. When I watch the X, oh! That is where your foot is just right away from the trap there on the ground.
Oh, whoopsies. And then
Still gets him,
Turtle, and it is not over. The Scuttle rebuttal is down, and it looks like they get it for vision and control over Baron, 17-9. And it is crazy that Clutch is still holding on. The amount of kills that FlyQuest is getting, just a few of Clutch, because FlyQuest is also getting map control with each one of these kills. And still, Clutch is not allowing them in just yet for the final touches. It's going to be tough, though. I could see one final fight coming in, but it becomes as strenuous as you think because Clutch can be on the other side of the map with a fight in their favor, too. Baron is started here as FlyQuest tempts Clutch Gaming into a fight. Febiven in first, kind of goes invis on the Shroud. He's going to be able to push off and get subjugated out of Santorin. That's going to feel very good.
What are these walls?
It's hard, man. Carpentry is not an easy job. Takes a lot of years. Febiven has, I'm sorry, LirA hasn't put himself on too much of the Taliyah.
Yeah, this was one of the tragic things when you started having junglers play Taliyah. We're not Taliyah players. We're almost never Taliyah players. Hold on, Keane!
Out, Turtles in, kill from Keane as he flashes forward to get the damage down, and they find LirA immediately. It's not gonna be good for Solo or Febiven if they're trying to come out of stopwatch. Hakuho says, I'm in, team, can we do anything? And FlyQuest is going to snuff that idea immediately. A triple kill for Keane, and Solo's gonna do what he can to just deter, be a fly on the wall.
They're ending the game, though.
FlyQuest.
Ending the game. WILDTURTLE, JayJ, Abyssal Voyage again. Perfect usage of that ability all game long. They're going to close this one out.
In and out. Imagine if you also had a Rise on this team to round warp around. The global team, the Globetrotters of FlyQuest, back and forth, coast to coast, take the win over Clutch Gaming and push towards the playoffs.
That moves them to 8-7, and they still have that remaining schedule that looks rather easy for them.
Yeah.
CLG, Golden Guardians, and then Cloud9 is the kicker. Cloud9 is the difficult one that they have remaining, but otherwise, they are in prime position to get themselves into the playoffs.
An extra happy Turtle this game. Very smiley. The caps lock smile is all on in caps lock cruise control. Hugs around. Great game from the last on your screen there. Febiven and the rest of the team doing what they can at Gangplank on the top side, almost scaling to where they needed it. Man, he was putting the sting down, but he just only could do it if he was in that 1v1. He didn't have too much on the board to think about, and that's what FlyQuest kept doing. They said, oh, you think you have a 1v1? You have an all v1. The FlyQuest team is here.
Yeah, and you had to worry about the Kai'Sa. You had to worry about...
They all came in for Abyssal Voyage, even if he couldn't Killer Instinct.
I loved the Abyssal Voyage from JayJ this game. They were really, really clean.
And we thought that not having that Braum, not having this stuff that they were picking on FlyQuest in that bot lane was actually going to hurt JayJ quite a bit. Man, did they come up big.
Yeah, and also shut down that Akali mid. Hasn't been finding too much success today in the LCS. Been kind of hard to find the right team fights for it. FlyQuest are able to pick the LeBlanc into it, and Keane had a good game, and he's been kind of slumping for a little bit here in the second half of the split. This is a good bounce-back game for him.
He moved himself to 8-7 on the summer split, and for more on that win, Obli is standing by with FlyQuest Troll King.
Thanks, guys. Santorin, we were just joking about it, but I mean, what's it like to win a game that wasn't through a base race?
It feels bad almost. No, basically because like we had such a big lead and we never actually did something with it, and we weren't aggressive enough, we weren't making the right plays. We were kind of stalling the game for 20 minutes where like they could potentially come back in the game when we were so far ahead. So it actually felt bad.
Well, it's still a win nonetheless, and you guys are one more step closer to playoffs. What's the team feeling like going from a bottom team last split to now a playoff contender?
We're feeling pretty good. This game always doesn't show our macro is that good right now. So that's something we definitely need to focus on a lot moving into the next few weeks, especially if we make playoffs. I think we're a really good early game team, but when it hits the mid game, we always make a lot of mistakes. We always make random calls, and I think it's just we're hesitating, and then we just pull the trigger, which a lot of the time just turns into something bad.
And FlyQuest has one of the easier strengths of schedules moving forward, I believe, against CLG, Golden Guardians, and Cloud9. So how confident are you guys going into those games?
I think we're pretty confident. We played against all the hard teams already. Obviously, every opponent is going to be hard, especially when we play like this. So we're taking every game really, really seriously, and we just want to make sure we make playoffs.
Santorin, thank you. Back to the State Farm Analyst Desk.
Thank you very much, Avli. FlyQuest picking up a much-needed win in their hunt for playoffs. But before we dive into the analysis of the game, we got to welcome Mithy to the analyst desk after a victory yourselves today. So very much alive in that race for playoffs. Let's just start there. What is it like to be in the? You're one of the most experienced players on the stage in terms of your history within competitive League of Legends. Have you ever been in a race this tight for a postseason?
I don't think I've ever been in a playoff race until I joined NA. Usually,
aren't they super fun?
Aren't they? Yeah, it's so much excitement.
Yeah, actually in OG we ended third, and that was a bummer.
Okay. All right. Well, so starting off on that note,
New experiences here in NA.
yeah, very much so. We're all about bringing in new experiences. And speaking of which, the draft phase in this is unlike maybe one I've ever seen. Clutch Gaming, no tanks. Just going full damage, essentially, across the board. They're bringing in that Akali's coming back up. To no avail. Obviously, the defeat came through. We did see him bring it back close, but Mark, talk to me about the strat.
Yeah, it felt kind of like one of those times where Trundle's picked early, so the other team's like, we're not going to play a tank then, so you can't steal any stats. And then the other team's like, we're going to counter-pick your non-tanks. And then it's like, there's no tanks in the game.
Who face checks?
Yeah, that's how it kind of felt. So there's no CC, there's no face checking really, and it becomes very difficult for both teams to actually find a decisive team fight because you can't lock anyone down.
How does this comp play? What is the strategy of the comp that Clutch Gaming drafted?
I think they were just hoping that Akali wins lane. That's usually how it goes with Akali.
Win lane, win game.
You first pick Akali and you're just thinking, yeah, I hope Akali wins my lane. And usually in scrims, Akali kills the other guy once and then you just can't play the game anymore.
We also in the previous weeks have been talking a lot about GP in the top lane and the power of that pick. And up until this game, most of the time we're seeing a Mundo of all things being picked into it to kind of equalize the lane and say, hey, I'm going to just survive and or eventually maybe outscale in the 1v1. This time around, though, the Rumble, can you shed some insight as to where this pick came from and why we saw it build such a massive CS lead?
I think it's been a pick that's been around for a while now, but yeah, I'm not really sure why people stopped playing it. Usually when you blind pick GP, you're always you just have to be confident in your pick because you can just play against anything really. And I think the Rumble pick is just, you just push the wave, you keep pushing, you eventually take the tower because the minions pretty much take the tower after pushing for so long, and you kind of match ults in team fights, and you're just a version of GP, but AP, I guess.
All right, but with that, Jat, we saw Rumble pressure in the top lane. We saw the LeBlanc pushing in the Akali. So by all accounts, FlyQuest had early control of this game from that perspective. Brings us to about 13 minutes into the game where the game actually blew open 5-for-1 around the Rift Herald here for FlyQuest.
A big play to knock the Taliyah off the wall, but then just a bit of a hilarious interaction as the skill shot missed and he flashed into the wall. All the while, everything goes wrong for Clutch in this fight. So many people get out at low health. Hakuho died before he'd have time to try and get any ult resets off. And you can see they just can't quite get the last hit on anyone. It looked like the game was over at this point.
They got the Herald though, so we're...
They did get the Herald.
Yeah, oh, they did pick it up
later.
Yeah.
I mean, they didn't pick it up, but at least the other team didn't get it, so...
Yeah.
That's what kept him in the game.
The moral victories. It's the moral victories.
Yeah.
I think Keane's LeBlanc was a good thing to see because he's always the guy who has like an answer to something.
Right.
And the fact that he was able to pull that out versus Akali, where a lot of people, you heard Pobelter in his interview being like, yeah, we're not really sure what's good into it, but I'm pretty sure Galio's good. Keane felt like he knew the LeBlanc was good, knew how to play the matchup, and was landing chains.
I was going to say, I wanted to point out, just because earlier we had the, the Akali tips and tricks from Mark, but Mithy, you pointed something out that I hadn't necessarily thought of, the interaction of Corrupting Potion and the Shroud.
Before Before, I am actually not sure.
What?
I assume that's how it works.
I'm pretty sure because any damage tick does give the outline of Akali within the obscurity.
But I don't usually have corruption potions, so I'm just...
You heard it here from Mithy, direct from Mithy's mouth. No, but it just, again, in trying to understand this champion, we know that a lot of pros haven't had a ton of experience playing both as it or against it, and I think that has showcased itself throughout the day today. I do want to push us forward to our next replay, a chase onto Febiven, who is piloting that Akali.
And this replay kind of highlights what we were talking about with the difficulties of both team comps having a really hard time just locking anyone down. And yes, Akali is notoriously slippery, but even then, once they do fail to lock down the Akali, and it's Clutch's turn to time to turn around and try and punish them for this, nothing happens, and both teams disengage, no kills.
Yeah, I think just overall FlyQuest had a hard time kind of getting onto anyone in the team in Clutch's game, like on Clutch, sorry. And I just wanted to say that Pyke has a really easy time getting wards off in this game. He has Hex Rinker, he has his passive, he's never really gonna die, and he would always be able to ward the Baron and avoid Fly from rushing it with Kai'Sa. And once you have GP ult, you have Akali on the flank. If they start Baron, you can always go for a team fight even if you're 5k down. So I think that was the biggest issue for FlyQuest, why they couldn't end the game. Santorin was talking about it earlier, but I think it also had to do with them not having hard CC to lock down Pyke.
Yeah, I agree with that. And we also talked a lot about Varus this game because there's been a debate previously about lethality Varus versus attack speed Varus. And this is a situation where maybe Apollo going lethality Varus makes Clutch win the game. It would have made their laning phase better. It would have made their wave clear easier. It would have made their Baron contest easier. And everyone except for the Trundle on that team was squishy, which is where lethality Varus can actually thrive. And you can never really compare because they play so differently. But against that team comp, he could never step up to actually repeatedly auto-attack. And I think lethality Varus could have won him the game.
Again, I think a lot of people are going to look back on that draft and wonder if there was something else Clutch could have done to give them a few more tools to win this game. Again, they really stuck in it, and we did see the gold graph kind of swing back towards them and give them an opportunity to win. Mark, final thoughts?
No, just much the same. I think there were a lot of decisions in this game. Why are you going AP Kai'Sa build when you have AP solo laners? There's a lot of head scratchers that both teams are going to look back on and not be very happy about.
Alrighty.
Yeah, I agree with Jad. I think the lethality Varus thing is actually a really big thing, and it would have been pretty game-changing.
Well, there you have it. Unfortunately, it didn't come through for Clutch Gaming. Now, as we wrap up the day, let's see where teams rank as the playoff race heats up. So far, Team Liquid are the only team to secure a playoff spot by hitting 11 wins. That means 100 Thieves could secure their spot tomorrow, but no one is technically locked out of the postseason quite yet. Of course, as we mentioned, the definition kind of forming in those top 3 slots, but still very much a tight race for 4 and 6.
Yeah, that's where the bulk of the teams are kind of grouped up here. There's the clump at the bottom, a couple guys.
Not mathematically out, but
not
still very much looking from the outside in.
Yeah. What we're really seeing that clarifies is that actually Clutch, Counterlogic Gaming, and Golden Guardians all falling down because there was a point where pretty much all those guys were 4 and 6 or better. So since then, every single one of those teams has gone
1 and 4.
1 and 4 at least. So that's what's giving us the clarity, which means it's basically TSM, Optic, or FlyQuest that are all just going to fight for playoffs because only one of those teams has to make it.
And you think, but you didn't include Cloud9 there, even though they are tied with FlyQuest.
For whatever reason, it feels like they're in.
You have the comp. Yeah, it does. There is kind of that pervasive feeling, but is that mostly attributed to the recent success and the dominance?
Giant win streak.
Right. Yeah. The dominance.
What's their win streak? What's their win streak?
What is their win streak right now? It's 7.
sure
what did we say?
They went from 2 and 7.
Oh no, their win streak is 5, but they're 6 and 1 in their last 7.
Oh, wow.
And 7 and 2 in their last 9, I think.
Yeah.
So.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
Definitely, yeah.
It's a lot of wins, man.
Yeah, I'd say they're also most likely in.
How are you feeling? You feeling confident?
I mean, yeah. I feel like we can make playoffs at the very least.
Let's try that again. How are you feeling? You feeling confident?
We will make playoffs.
There it is.
Yeah, there
Thank
we
you
go.
very much, Mithy. Let's see what teams will need to do to stay in the playoff race in tomorrow's schedule, presented by Jersey Mike's Subs. Things kick off with Echo Fox loading up against Optic Gaming in Game 1 with TSM versus 100 Thieves later in the day. Following that, tune into Riot Games 2, where Freak, Deftly, and Contracts will be bringing you Cloud9 versus Team Liquid from the NALCS Lounge. Now, if you missed the EULCS this morning, stay tuned after we say goodbye for the Saturday rebroadcast. With that, I got to thank Mithy once again for joining us. It's been a pleasure. Now, for myself, the casters, and the entire live broadcast crew, thank you for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow for more of the NALCS. Good night.
Bye.
game 1 of the day. A battle over second place. The 100 Thieves takes on Echo Fox. Here we go into our game. Is it going to be enough damage afterwards? A chain of CC. Trying to have enough with the ult. Is it going to be enough with Feast? And it is the first blood in the top lane.
I guess Santorin. Nice.
Careful,
Puppy no flash.
We're good. Right side. Yasuo flash. Ignite. Hey, W1. Got it.
Dancing on Omega ending today.
Products in the mix, gonna find some damage. Blabber gonna ult to stay alive and did not get back in the Lamster's fight.
Kill Varus.
Nice.
Cloud9, the rampage continues for them.
We're C9 now, by the way.
That's what Wilder wants you to do.
We're actually C9.
It's gonna be hard in lane phase, but if we have Blabber and Licorice and Jensen. Omega low. Pick me Silly and Kindred.
Fast damage coming in. They Trig! Oh, leapfrogs on Huhi. Bjergsen's back and forth denying vision with the ping.
Sona Trust.
Nice.
We can go to Baron.
Gets the Shuriken flip back in, and he gets the damage out of Twilight Shroud.
Look at their duo. Get their duo.
Yeah. Him dead. I'm looking top. Nice.
Okay, nice.
3/4 on cooldown, but they're still going in for the fight. Impact and Ole's in with a grand entrance.
One second, I'm gonna pause. There's a bug here. We cannot talk.
What's going on?
There's a fly on our face. It's on top of you, Trevor.
Oh, wait, we cannot talk about the game, right?
Got him?
Hey, TP the flash. Varus no flash. Going GP.
Yo, they got Herald. They got Herald. Yo, don't let him get it. Don't let him get it. Okay.
Death from below, dodged out on that. Oh my God, Flame lives! He's about to tip those scales right here. A barrel next to Flame. Scrap Shield keeps him alive. Nobody's engaged just yet. Turtle, and oh my God, Turtle to the backside. The Globetrotters of FlyQuest back and forth, coast to coast, take the win over Clutch Gaming and push towards the playoffs.